The 68th Grammy Awards, February 2026, a night for music, until a comedian stole the spotlight. I was hosting for my 6th and final time, and during my monologue, I took a risk. I joked about Trump wanting Greenland, then added, "Epstein's island is gone, so he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton." The crowd gasped, some laughed, I shrugged. "It's my last year, what are you going to do?" The next day Trump exploded on Truth Social, calling my joke false, defamatory and promising to sue. He insisted he'd never been to Epstein's island and called me a talentless dope of an MC. Trump referenced past legal wins against media giants, warning me to get ready. This wasn't just about a joke, it was a message to anyone who'd mock him. Suddenly a punchline became national news and a potential legal war. For me, it was just another night poking fun at the powerful. For Trump, it was personal. His reaction turned a fleeting TV moment into a showdown comedian versus former president. Now, freedom of speech and the limits of satire were on the line. The stage was set, not for punchlines, but for lawyers. The world was watching to see who'd get the last laugh, and the battle had only just begun. Trump's threat to sue me? Classic move. He's used lawsuits, and the threat of them, to intimidate critics for years. For Trump, suing isn't just about money, it's about controlling the narrative and punishing the press. In 2024, ABC News settled with him for $15 million after a spat with George Stephanopoulos. In 2025, CBS's parent company paid $16 million over an edited interview. Trump even filed a $5 billion suit against the BBC. These settlements are his trophies, proof, he claims, that he can beat the media. When he warned me, he was boasting about these wins. But here's the catch. Settlements aren't court victories. Companies often pay to avoid drawn-out legal battles, not because Trump was right. Still, his record makes his threats feel real. It's intimidation, meant to silence critics and scare off anyone who'd challenge him. But the truth behind those victories is more complicated than he lets on. And that's crucial as he sets his sights on me. My joke hit a nerve. Trump's alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein. The timing was explosive. Just days before, the Justice Department unsealed millions of Epstein-related documents. The world waited for bombshells, but the files showed no evidence that Trump or Clinton visited Epstein's island. In fact, an Epstein email insisted Clinton was never ever there. The Justice Department said nothing was withheld to protect Trump. Still, Trump and Epstein were once social buddies in New York and Florida. Trump even called Epstein fun to be with in a 2002 interview, noting his taste for younger women. After Epstein's arrest, Trump distanced himself, claiming they'd fallen out. No proof links Trump to Epstein's crimes, but the association lingers. My joke played on that public record and the ongoing speculation. For Trump, any mention of Epstein is toxic. His legal threats are an attempt to erase that connection, even if it means targeting a comedian. The controversy keeps the spotlight right where he doesn't want it. Trump accuses me of defamation, a tough case to win, especially for a public figure. Defamation means making a false statement that harms someone's reputation, but for public figures, the bar is much higher. They must prove actual malice, that I knew my joke was false or acted with reckless disregard for the truth. That's thanks to a landmark Supreme Court case protecting free speech. Was my joke a statement of fact? No, it was satire, not a news report. Courts recognize that comedians exaggerate for laughs. For Trump to win, he'd have to convince a jury I was making a serious accusation, not a joke, and that I knew it was false. That's nearly impossible. The law protects satire and commentary, especially about public figures. That's the cornerstone of American free expression. Legal experts quickly weighed in. Trump's lawsuit would almost certainly fail. The First Amendment gives comedians wide latitude, especially when joking about public figures. Satire isn't the same as a factual claim. No reasonable viewer thought my joke was breaking news. Some warned Trump's threat could backfire, making the joke even more famous, the Streisand effect. By threatening to sue, Trump amplified the story, keeping it in the headlines. A lawsuit would drag out the controversy, forcing more discussion about his Epstein ties. Comedy Central stood by me, citing the First Amendment and the tradition of political satire. I responded the only way I know how, with another joke. If Trump sues me, I'll have material for the rest of the year. The public rallied behind me. Jokes are not crimes trended worldwide. Comedians, journalists, and fans defended my right to joke and blasted Trump's threat as an attack on free speech. The incident became a flashpoint in the debate over comedy, political correctness, and power. For many, this was about more than two celebrities. It was about defending a core American value. The message was clear. Satire matters, and the public wasn't backing down. The fight for free speech had a new battleground. What's next? Trump can sue, or let it go. If he sues, it'll be a drawn-out battle testing the limits of satire and free speech. Most experts predict the case would be dismissed, but not before making headlines. This episode is a reminder: satire is vital in a free society. It lets us question authority and speak truth to power. If public figures could silence comedians with lawsuits, comedy and democracy would suffer. The actual malice standard protects us from that. This fight is bigger than me or Trump. It's about the principles that define America. Whether in court or the public square, the outcome will send a message about the value of free speech. For now, the joke lingers, waiting to see if it lands as a punchline or in a courtroom.